Hello friends, today we are going to discuss some parametric tests related with that testing of hypothesis. We are going to discuss mainly five topics. One is one sample t-test, two sample t-test, pair t-test, one way ANOVA and two way ANOVA. So let's start with one sample t-test. Before starting t-test, we need some packages, modules. Okay, NumPy, uh, pandas, scipy.stats, uh, matplotlib for box plot or histogram. For this we may need these plots. Okay, for one way and two way ANOVA, we need statsmodels.api, statsmodel.formula.api, and that OLS, ordinary least square. And after comparing one way or two way ANOVA, if our hypothesis got rejected, and we know that the treatment mean is not same for all k treatments or for the block cases. Okay, in that case we may need the pairwise comparison of the treatment means or block means. For that case we may need uh, statsmodel.stats dot multiple comparison. Okay, pairwise Tukey's t-test. Okay, now these are the packages required, so let's run this. After that, as we are dealing with testing of hypothesis, every time we have to conclude from the p-value. So I have defined a function conclude, which mainly includes p-value, h0, h1, and alpha. The default value assigned for the alpha is 0.05. We may change if we required it. Okay, the first one is the print conclusion. Every time when we use the print command, and we use the double quotation sign, and if we haven't given that n, it uses slash n here, slash n here. So whenever we use print command in the next line, it will be printed on the next line. Now here I don't want everything that reject h node or everything, I don't want it on a next line. So I uh, ask them to end this sentence with respect with none quantity. So reject h node will be here only. Okay, and here is the if else. If p value less than alpha, then print reject h node and print that whatever that h1 is. Else print fail to reject h node and print whatever that h node is. Okay, that is the simple thing. So these are the requirements. Now let's move for the first one sample test for the population mean, assuming that population variance is unknown. Okay, the aim of this test is music to test mu is equal to mu naught. Okay, now source, there is a random sample of n observations xi are running from 1 to up to n, drawn from a population whose mean is mu and variance is sigma square. Of course sigma square is unknown. We have to estimate the sigma square by using that sample variance command. So there are some assumptions. The population from which the sample drawn is normal distribution and population variance is unknown but constant. Okay, let's take an example. A business school in its advertisement claims that average salary of its graduates in a particular year is equal to the average salary offered by some business schools. Okay, one sample of 30 graduates from the business school whose claim was to be verified was taken at random. Okay, they have salaries of 30 graduates. Okay. The average salary offered at the top five business schools in that year was given as, okay, 750,000. Let's take this. Assess the validity. Okay, so here are 30 graduates and their salaries, of course, in thousands. Let's take H naught and H1. Okay, H naught will be the mean salary of the graduates from the business school is 750 and is not equal to 750. Alternative hypothesis. Put that salary of 30 graduates into the list, and we have to use that t test underscore one sample. Okay, We have to enter that salary, list of that salaries here, and mu is equal to mu naught here only. Okay. Now, STS. What is STS? We have used this STS for uh, scipy.stats package. Okay. It will return the tstat. It will return the p-value. By using that p-value, we can conclude. We have already defined that conclude function above. Okay. Uh, Sample t-test. Let's run this. Let's see whether it is correct or not. Oh, we got the conclusion. One sample t-test. Yeah, one sample t-test. One sample t-test results statistic. We got the statistics minus 2.4, and that p-value is 0.0201. Oh, it should be definitely rejected. So we got reject H0, and after rejecting H0, the mean salary of the graduate from the business school is significantly differ from 750. Okay, let's move for the uh, two sample t-test, assuming equal or unequal variances. Okay, the aim of this two sample t-test is as simple. Mu1 is equal to mu2, or an alternative hypothesis are mu1 not equal to mu2, or mu1 less than equal to mu1 greater than equal to. Uh, the population from which the two samples are drawn are assumed normal distribution. The two population variances are equal or unequal. Okay. Uh, Usually in theory we divide these two sample t-test in two parts, assuming equal variances and assuming unequal variances. As the command for the both tests are same, I haven't defined it, or I haven't used for another section for the command. Let's move with an example. 20 workers from private sector. Okay, mine, that is mine 1. 24 from mine 2, that is government owned mine, were selected, and the average output per shift was recorded. We want to assess whether the efficiency of the workers of the two mines is same or not. Okay, now let's define H0 and H1 first. What is H0? Average output per shift are same for government and private sector mine. An alternative hypothesis, they differ significantly. Okay, let's put mine 1 and mine 2. Here are 20 observations, here are 24 observations. Again, sts scipy.stats.ttest underscore. In previous case, we have one sam. Here we have independent int, and we have to put there mine 1 and mine 2. By default, they use equal variance, but if you think that there may be variances are not equal, then we just have to add another command, another option here, uh, which is equal to equal underscore variance is equal to, and put false here only. Okay, in my case variance is equal, so I'm not using that option. Let's run. It will again provide a statistics and p-value. Let's grab it, print it. Two sample t-test results equal to t-test is equal to likewise. Okay, and p-value. Again, we must have to conclude that. So by using again that function we defined earlier, conclude p-value h0 h1. Okay, whatever the result is. Okay, let's run this. So what I have done here, I have also plotted histogram for mine 1 and mine 2. Okay, on a same graph, so that I can get an idea whether how they are distributed. Mine 1 is green colored and mine 2 is red colored. And their average output per shift is given in this graph. Okay, here we can observe that red part, that is mine 2, is distributed from 33 to 44, and while that mine 1, its green color, is distributed from 33 to 49. So for mine 1 there is a lot of variation. Okay, Again, we have used that box plot thing because overall we are interested in the mean. So box plot gives a good idea how the data is distributed. Here we can observe that from 33 to 49 or something, and the mean value for the mine 1 is 45, though there is a lot of variation comparative to mine 2. And for the mine 2, their average yield per shift is near about 39. So definitely for this case, mine 1, the mean is higher and variation is also higher. Now, test for the paired observation. That is, you are going to do this paired t-test here. Again, here the null hypothesis is mu1 is equal to mu2. But here the data is related. So likewise, before after treatment data or husband wife data, whatever, like this. The observation of the two samples must be obtained in a pair. The population from which the sample drawn is a normal. Okay, so let's start this with an example. The pharmaceutical company claims that the treatment increases the weight of the subject. Okay, we have to verify the claim of the pharmaceutical company. We have before treatment and after treatment. We have subjects from 1 to 10 and 11 to 20. So by logic, H1 null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis will be there is no difference in before after treatment. There is no difference in mean weight before and after treatment. Okay, there is a significant difference between before and after treatment. Okay, let's move. So just enter that before data and after data in the list. Uh, okay, let's box plot first and observe what actually data is showing us. Okay, so from that box plot we can observe that before data, okay, we have this box plot. In before data, average is around 40 and in after data average is around 45. Okay, let's verify. Use again sts.t-test underscore. Here is only one change, related observations are related, so we have to use rel before after. Okay, and here we can use that alternative hypothesis. Here they haven't mentioned anything. What should we do if you want to test alternative hypothesis less than or equal to type or greater than or equal to type? So in that case, the statistics remains the same. We just have to use the another p-value. We already know that p-value is the statistics can take value as extreme or the more extreme than the observed one. So we have to find out just only the t.cdf, okay, but t is present in scipy.stat. So tcdf and that absolute value of that statistic, absolute value of that. Is there any spelling mistake? Yes, of course. Statistic and the degrees of freedom are same. You can write there 18 directly, but I will not do that. Length of before, length of after, minus 2, n1 plus n2 minus 2 degrees of freedom. Okay, that will be the p-value for the one-sided case. Okay, one-sided alternative hypothesis. Okay, that p-value is for the. Okay, let's run this and check whether. Okay, there is a significant difference. Okay, I should have changed that alternative hypothesis that uh, there is a mean increase in a weight or something, whatever that null hypothesis is corresponding to, that we should write h1 here. Okay, now let's neglect that. We already understand that concept. Let's move toward the CRD test for the completely randomized design. Okay, to test the significance of the treatment effects, that our null hypothesis is mu1 is equal to mu2 is equal to mu3 is equal to up to mu k. So for the k treatments we have equal means that's the our aim to take. That is our aim. What are the assumptions? The population from which the observations are drawn is normal. Observations are independent, various effective are additive in nature, and errors are IID and normally distributed with mean at 0 and variance sigma square. Okay, let's take an example. Uh, we would like to investigate the effectiveness of various feed supplements. Okay, growth rate. Okay, weights of chicken are given there. Use box plot. Okay, so we have to plot first. Plot of means to visualize the difference between the feed types. Use ANOVA to examine the effectiveness of feed supplements. Okay, comment on your findings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 statements. Enter that data in list. Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. All 5. Sorry, all 6 supplements. I should have written 6 here. 6 supplements have same mean effect, and at least one supplement's mean effect is different from others. Okay, we can use scipy.stats again. We have command f underscore ANOVA, and we have to enter all the list where the treatment effects are noted. Forgot something? Am I forgot something? Okay, guessing was me. Okay, I forgot to add mean seed. Okay. Okay, but what's the drawback of this quantity? Actually, this only runs f one way result. It provides f statistics obviously, and the p-value. Okay, so but we didn't get any ANOVA here. So for the ANOVA case, we have to move for the stats model. Okay, for that stats model, we have to put our data in y variable and treatments in x variable. Okay, by using pd dot. So in this case, we need pandas. Pd dot concatenate. Okay, and pd series. Just to make sure that whatever that in a treatment, for example, whatever is in a casein, we have to stack all these columns in one column, that's y, and we have to stack all treatments. So here I have used I plus 1 for that range in treatment. We have 6 treatments here, so whatever that range of whatever that length of casein we will get here. Okay, 1 for casein, 2 for horsebean, likewise 6 for sunflower. So now we have y and x here. Now let's convert it in a data frame. Okay, let's print this data frame here first. Print data frame. It will provide us the idea what actually we are doing here. Okay, so we got here 1111, that is for I think casein and last 6 for the sunflower, I think. Okay, now we have the data frame in which first column is weight and another is with supplement. Now we have to put a model is equal to OLS, that's we have imported from that stats model package, stats model dot formula or stats models API. In that case, we have used that OLS. Weight, that curl. Supplement is a categorical variable, so I think C is here for that only. data is equal to from the data frame, and we have to fit. Okay, now for that model, uh, store that ANOVA table here, ANOVA underscore linear model, so LM model, and here is the ANOVA type is equal to type 2. Print that ANOVA table here. Okay, that's, I think I have already done that. So we got ANOVA table here. What's ANOVA table? It's degrees of freedom and residual. They haven't given for the total. We have sum of square, mean sum of square. Here is a F stat. Okay, this is the row index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So F stat is in a row 0 and third column. P value is in a row 0 and fourth column. As we have to write conclusion here, and our result F stat and P value from 0th row and third column, 0th row and fourth column. Print that ANOVA result, F stat and P value. Conclude. We have already defined everything earlier case. Okay, and now plot that box plot. So we have to use that column, and we have to group that boxes with respect to that supplement. Okay, so that we can get 6 box plots in a same graph, separated by or grouped by supplements. Okay, let's see what it has given. Okay, here we can observe that the mean increase in weight is very less in supplement 2. Okay, and it is quite higher in supplement 1, that is casein, I think. Okay, okay, now what is the result of the ANOVA? As the p-value is much smaller than the alpha, it is less than 0.001. So ANOVA got rejected, reject H0. So there is at least one supplement mean effect is different from the other. So in this case, we have to compare the pairwise comparison. So for that case, we need the KISS t-test. So we have to use that pairwise the KISS HSD, the KISS HSD. Group by supplement alpha 0.05, and then print M. Here are the results. Here we can observe that for the group 1 and group 2, 1 and 2 differ significantly. Okay, you can observe it from box plot also. Okay, 1 and 3 they differ significantly, but 1 and 4, so there is a scope. Okay, similarly for the other treatments. Okay, let's move for the RBD design. For the RBD case, we have treatment and blocks, and the null hypothesis is H1, H2 up to HK. Sorry, mu1, mu2 up to mu-k are same for the treatment, and for blocks, also it is beta 1, beta 2 up to small p. If there are a small b blocks, mean effect is same. Okay. Again, the assumptions are same. The population from which the observation drawn is normally distributed. Observations are independent. Errors are normally distributed with mean 0 and variance sigma square. Okay, let's move. Here is a field 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's. University of researcher tested 6 varieties. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Here are 6 varieties and 4 separate fields. 1, 2, 3, 4 are fields. Okay, now we know the drill. So put that yield data in a row. Varieties, we have 6 varieties here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Multiplied by 4 for the 4 fields. So it will repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to enter, we have entered that observations in a row wise. So variety is we will get a column for that variety case. To obtain the field case, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and if we sorted that thing as I have multiplied it by 6, as there are 6 varieties. So by sorting this, we will get the field. So in the data frame, first column will be the yield, second column will be the variety, and third column will be field. So whatever we have done in one way, we can use in a two way. OLS is equal to yield, field and variety. Data is equal to df as we have entered it here. Dot fit ANOVA table stats ANOVA underscore LM model and type is equal to true, and we can print that ANOVA table here. Okay. Uh, first, let me check if there is any interaction effect. Okay. I forgot to add here the interaction effect, but adding interaction effect is not a difficult task. Just put that C and whatever your field star variety. It will add. Oh, it's correct. Yes, it's correct. Now let's run this. Let me see. Okay, we got that interaction effect here. D of 3 5 14. Sum of square, mean sum of square, f variety. Okay. Okay. As p-value is 0.13, that interaction effect is not significant. So we can neglect it from that models. We can remove it from the models. Delete that and rerun the ANOVA model. As I'm more interested in saving my degrees of freedom. Okay, find the p-value for the row, that is field, and for the variety, p-value 1 is for the field. For uh, variety, p-value 2 is for the variety case. Here are the null hypothesis, conclusions. Okay, okay, let's box plot. Box plot for variety. Why is that so? Let's check the assumption. Let's check the conclusion. Failed to reject H0, there is no significant. Okay, mean yields. So there is no need to check Tucky's test for the mean yields by the fields. And what is the p-value for the variety? Oh, it is quite less. So the conclusion for that variety case is the reject H0. There is significant difference in mean yield by varieties. So if there is a difference in varieties, we have to verify it by a pairwise comparison. Let's go for the pairwise comparison by using Tucky's HSD, and also by using that box plot thing. Okay, there is a difference in 1 and 4. A, B, C, D. A and D. I think D differed significantly for every other treatment. Okay, D and I think E should be there now. 6. Yes, they differ significantly. What about 4 and 6? 4 and 6. Oh, they also differ significantly. So this is the case. Okay, thank you.